I was terrified out of my mind. We were inside a strange contraption. Think of it as a mini carriage, he had said, yet there were no horses and it moved of its own accord. Sorcery. And to make it worse, it moved too quickly. Would you like to hold my hand? Zaire sat to my right and Safan to my left. I was sandwiched between them, squished like a child hiding inside a cupboard. Looks like she'll destroy Kaim's seats otherwise. Aries was seated in the front, staring out the window. Kaim, who was driving this bizarre vehicle, huffed a languished sigh as he spun the wheel.
I would prefer that not happen, if you don't mind.
Or else I may switch cars with one of the others. Certainly you wouldn't dare take mine. You should have gone with Valkii, then, or brought your own. I hadn't realized that I had a death grip on the leather seats. My nails had been digging in and my knuckles had gone white. I held the angel's hand, and while I was still in fear for my life, non-life, he was positively delighted.
You can hold my hand too.
I took him up on that offer. My strength was divided between holding each hand. Please do not be so anxious. You are a reaper now. Can't die again that easily. Doesn't mean she can be reckless. Well, yeah, but she doesn't have to be a nervous wreck either. Try looking out the window. I'm sure this will all be new to you. This place is called Stasis. It's got a lot to do, thanks to everything we borrow from the human world. I braved a glance outside. It was bizarre. Gone were the structures I had grown up with, or the rubble it had become. Instead were looming buildings, bright lights. Cool, isn't it? The purgatory humans helped us design this place. Angels come down here to frolic, so a lot of time is always put into construction. Up where we come from, there is little in entertainment, though they make the best alcohol. I had so many questions. The purgatory humans. Purgatory is a place where humans purge their sins before they go to heaven. So am I going to heaven?
You are a special case.
You stirred up so much trouble they didn't know what to do with you.
That's why they left you in there for so long. Anyways, rather than just wandering around in Purg, the ones with skills can just serve their sentences here. Now and then you get humans that work here before going to heaven. Or even come down from heaven now and then. So I didn't have any skills. That's not the case, but rather you were assessed to be a danger. What? Who am I dangerous to? Yourself and millions of people. Point taken, but I'm not that reckless. Aries scoffed. And I'm here now, aren't I? Under strict supervision, our heads are on the line. Really? So don't toe out of line. But she has matured from her stay in purgatory. You may have forgotten your memories, but do you truly feel like the same person? My soul felt heavier. Things were still foggy, and I've barely had time to think in here. I think I have changed. I just need to figure out how. Hopefully it's for the better. Oh, ease up, will ya? Never seen you to be this much of a dick. Don't listen to him. He was in charge of making sure you'd get here safe and sound. I mean, if I'm to guess, her actions in the past caused him to not like her in some way. She did something that affected him. That's my guess for now. Bullshit. Or he's just a dick, you know what I mean? He's just rude. Bullshit. You all just wouldn't stop talking about her. How come you all know me? I appreciate the help, but is there a reason you're looking out for me? Let's just say a series of events have led us being responsible for you.
So if you mess up, we all die.
Nope.
Zafan, please. It would be a worthy death.
No, I don't want anyone dying for me. Besides, aren't we already dead? Yet you died for another so easily. Anyway, while humans and things that normally hurt humans can't fatally harm us, other powers can. Keep that in mind. Alright? At last, we were free from the nightmarish ride. I was sitting in my brand new room. Although the structures I have seen so far have been unfamiliar, this was close to my old quarters in Felix's home. Was this on purpose? They told me to stay out of the kitchen for now and to just ask them if I needed any help, since there would be machinery I did not yet know how to operate. I was given this watch thing to contact them, but how could that possibly work? Sorcery. Just as I started tapping on the surface, something appeared on the screen and the watch began to make noises. After several moments of deliberation, I tapped it. Hey, how are you settling in? Ah, I threw the infernal device and a shatter replaced the sound of his voice. Oh. I shouldn't have done that, I think. Sorcery. The next day, here, I'll teach you how to use it. While the device was sturdy, the screen itself needed some repairs. The men were shocked at my strength, so Lilia praised me until Kaim shooed her out. Can we get a sprite of Lilia, please? And so Zafan was here with a case of tools. Probably should have taught you in the first place. It would mean less work on our hands. Yesterday. After I tossed the infernal device away from me as far as I could, it thunked against the wall and fell to the floor with a spectacular shatter. Fell creation. I climbed up on the counter and looked for some sort of weapon. Luckily, I found a broom to brandish at the cursed item, not that I knew anything about exorcism. Perhaps I should have joined the convent after all. Before I had any more time to regret my course in life, hurried footsteps echoed outside of my door. Are you okay? Stefan was huffing after opening the door, and the group of guys piled in. Beside him was Valkii, who was sleepily rubbing his eyes. Aries was in tow, and Seir peered inside curiously. While Kaim wasn't very visible, I could still see him rubbing his temple. He could have knocked. We thought something had happened. The angel furrowed his beautiful face as he came up to me, still crouched on the counter. Are you hurt? He put a hand on my head, and his eyes did a once-over of me. What happened? A voice started coming out on my watch, and I thought it was possessed. It was terrifying. Ah, thanks. That was my voice.
Is my voice that scary?
He whispered to Aries, who nodded, much to Zavan's dismay. We should have explained how it worked to you. You must have been frightened. There's a tiny fly in my face. Huh. I tried to slide off my seat, but Balafar stopped me. We should check for any broken glass. Although you are a Reaper now, injuries will still hurt since you are new to this life. It will take time for your powers and resistance to develop.
Paper cuts will never stop stinging, no matter how many years pass.
He spoke bitterly and glared at the floor as though there was a sheet of paper lurking, threatening to slice him. How unfortunate. While Valafar picked up the watch, Zafan and Aries studied the floor for any debris. They confiscated my broom and then began the lecture. We did not think your first reaction would be to throw the item. I said I was sorry. I told you I thought that the watch was possessed. We have to remember there was no technology from her time. I gave Aries a pointed look. However, the next time you come across a suspicious item, it may not be wise to toss it. There could be an enchantment designed to hurt you. Really? Like what? I thought I'd be safe as a Reaper, at least. You'd be mistaken. Remember, there are other powers out there that can harm you. I nodded. There are rogue Reapers out there, bad spirits from the human world, and actual demons that so far have escaped our grasp. The longer one lives, the more powerful they grow, so there are many out there who can hurt you. But how come they go rogue? A shoot of power or a different life? I could see why. We all stared at him. Not that I have any plans to go rogue, geez. Then you should watch your words, especially where we are. Are there any bad angels? Seir shook his head.
Angels cannot have ill intent, so it is not possible for them to stray.
Boring. I'm calling bullshit. Furthermore, all actions angels do are recorded automatically and sent to a record keeper. How can they not have any ill intent? It's just how it is. Reapers are built a certain way, angels are built a certain way. Reapers are unattached. Their end goals are to become humans, be promoted to higher work, and possibly become angels. Although I've rarely heard it actually happen. Because of this, it is rare to see Reapers in relationships or even have more than a couple of friends at most. A group like ours is an anomaly. They, of course, can have casual relations if they so choose, but most find no need to tie themselves down to this life. Angels get to deal with the nice parts of life, all we see is death, so you can imagine why they want a promotion. Or to settle down as a human once they fulfill certain conditions. Of course, that is not appealing to everyone. I assume that when the full game comes out, the right sprites will be popping up with the person who's speaking. I don't know how much of a hassle that is to do because I've never tried to create a visual novel before. I've wanted to, but I definitely would never have the resources to do that. So yeah, but maybe it's annoying to do for a demo, and just work out the kinks for like the full thing. I don't know. And you do not, and you do have those that have come into this life after once being human, whether it be by choice. An exceptional event, I assure you. Or those that must work off their karmic debt. It's a lot to take in. Thea pet me fondly on the head.
You will learn.
Arias bristled. You're quite friendly to her. Why? Yeah, you're not that nice to us, or at all. Could it be? I didn't think he had it in him. Saya gave him a look. He certainly can be heartless for an angel. Even you, Valafar. Oh, stop teasing him. I'm sure it's because I'm new. I defended him more for my sake than his, if I were to be honest. Alright, we'll back off, for now. We need to get to business as it is. Let me teach you the basics of using this. Try not to throw it again. Sorry, I thought a demon was in there. You're afraid of demons? Well, who isn't? Arias pointed at himself, then to Kaim. Do you not notice that we have demon-like qualities? Are you demons? I thought you were reapers. Not mutually exclusive concepts. There are good demons and bad ones. Take some perceptions of the Grim Reaper across different places. Those that can perceive the supernatural have some foundation for our appearances. Of course, we don't know if they truly see us, or if we just look like the scary pictures they conjure of us. I see. They've always been terrifying in the paintings I've seen. Scary things aside, let's get to work. After many hours of patience from Zafan, with Valafar and even Lilia occasionally dropping by to help, I think I have finally understood this device. While it is a watch, they say it is like a smartphone that is capable of doing many other things I need for my Reaper work. I still could not say that I've grasped everything, but I believed I could work this. Alright, test time. Never mind. Wait, I don't think I'm ready. Go ahead and send a text to someone. Oh, okay. Who do I like the most? Annoyingly, the Arias is like intriguing. I like Sayer as well though. Because that's intriguing as well. Because there's potential for bad angel shenanigans. Are angels even allowed to be in relationships? I don't know. Let's send Sayer a text. Hello? Valkii, how wonderful it is to receive a message from you. My, you are learning quite quickly. You really think so? Yes, I am quite proud. Oh, alright. Uh-oh, time to save. Oh. Needs to be centered, but that's fine. I know I can make you prouder. I'm unstoppable. Great, now call someone. What? We were moving too fast. I should call Sayer again.
Why, hello there. I hope your first day on the job has been fun.
Well, I think I'm learning a lot. I think his voice actor is my favorite so far as well. I do think that has a lot to do with my ranking right now as well, actually, now I think about it. Because Arias is my second, his voice acting is my second favorite. So then it goes Valafar, Zafan, and Kaim are on the same level. Well, I think I'm learning a lot.
If anything frightens you again, you can be sure to count on me.
Yeah, I'll try not to keep throwing things.
That's the spirit. But if you ever do feel the urge, I can arrange for you some throwing materials.
I'll take you up on that offer one day.
I'll be ready. Perhaps I should start making arrangements.
Too soon, Sayer.
But if you'd like something a little less exhilarating, I can think of plenty of ways for us to spend time together.
I'd like that a lot, Sayer. Look at you, passed with flying colors. He ruffled my hair with a proud look in his eyes. Thanks, teacher. Of course, my star pupil. Alrighty. He clapped his hands together. How about we go get some lunch? Then Val can give you a tour of the place. Excuse me? Val? Valafar. We have similar names, I didn't realize that. Since you'll be working with us closely, best to get us to know each of us better. If you want, of course. I do. Glad you're taking this all well so far. Looking forward to working with you, Miss Valkii. Just Valkii. Just Valkii. He shook my hand with a playful show of pomp and circumstance. Will everyone like me? Of course they will. I already do. I did not think you were the type to be a flirt, Zafan. Rusinus, right? Zafan yelped, completely taken unaware by a voice from behind. Perfect timing, Valafar. Valefar? I don't remember how to say his name. I'm so mad that I didn't pay attention to that when I was more interested in how you said Sayr's name. Where did you come from? Would I have said that, or would I have gone Seer? I might have gone like Seer. I probably wouldn't have gone for Sayr, so that's good. Where'd you come from? The job this morning was a quick one. Come, let us start. Over there you have the training hall. Ooh, what's in there? A lot of training dummies. Typically the goal is to take out as many of them as possible in a short amount of time. Or you have a target and you have to take them out as quickly as possible without accidentally killing one of the innocents. Does our line of work involve a lot of combat? Depends. There's always a chance to encounter unfriendly spirits. I remember hearing of those before, but I didn't think it would be something I'd actually deal with. I have to fight ghosts? Yes. I looked at him in horror. You jest, surely. Madame, I assure you I do not. While his face was relatively smooth, I could definitely see him biting back a smile. Was my dilemma a source of amusement to him? How cruel. That is why you must learn to protect yourself from them. I know some combat. My best friend had taught me since we were younger. I want to talk to the best friend. I'm intrigued by the best friend. I'm intrigued by, like, the circumstances. Why she followed him and even, like, killed herself for him. And I'm just so curious about that. I always like the idea of, like, you know, I'll burn the whole world down for you kind of vibe. I'm a sucker for that. So I want to meet Felix. If we don't meet Felix, I'm going to be upset. Who would Felix be? Is this the one who gets the new route? I don't know. There's no, like, names on here, so I don't know. So then who would this be? Is one of these Felix? I doubt it. I don't know. I know some combat. Yeah, we said this one.
Didn't do such a good job, did he? You're here dead, aren't you?
Yeah, okay. You know the circumstances of how I became dead? I didn't fight it, you dumbass. I went to my death willingly. Yeah, that was my own decision. Only because you didn't know how to fight enough to run away, right? No? Aries, enough. You talk a lot for someone in second place. Ouch. Second place in what? You see, we keep a tally of the scores from the training hall. I am not in second place, I am merely tied with Kaim. Indeed, and since you are tied for first, neither of you are the winner. So does that not naturally make you second place? I agree with Valafar. Oh, then let's see what you got. Still beat you, Valafar, haven't I? So you have, so you have. Since you're so proficient, how about you show Miss Valkii here the ropes later? Please, just call me Valkii. Very well, then. Me? Isn't the tour your job? Are you trying to shirk your duties off to me? For shame. I am not you, Aries. I am the tour guide. You can handle her training. For someone who made sure her arrival would be perfect, you enjoy pretending other... Aries glared with such intensity, even I had to look away. You did? None of your business. Oh, he's Sundere. Great. He briskly walked away. Aries. Fine. Later. And then he went out of sight. Very well. But as to what I was saying before, you will meet ill spirits, yes, but it should not be too often. You are not to harm humans, but if you are on an assignment as a fixer, the occasion may arise. There are also the rogue reapers, or rogues for short. You may need to protect yourself against them. Or conduct arrests if required. Well, I have a lot of responsibilities, don't I? And you shall carry them out wonderfully. Ah, I forgot to explain about the office. Post-reaping reports are filled here. Filed here? Yeah, filed here. Reports. Do I have to write them too? No, we have separate staff to review the actual reapings. Reapings are recorded automatically. Typically, the recordings are studied only if there is an anomaly. Recorded automatically? Yes, into our Hall of Memories. That sounds so fancy.
Which is not a stop on your tour.
From out of nowhere, Kyan popped in and regarded Valfar. I'm so annoyed that I don't. Can someone say his name, please? Valafar with a stern countenance.
Must each one of you interrupt me?
I heard my cat. Being a bad boy. In return, he greeted Kyan with a withering sigh. Pardon my rudeness, but yes, I believe that is a lesson for another time. Oh, now I'm more curious. He chuckled, his eyes crinkling with his laugh. Hold on to that curiosity. I assure you, you will be going somewhere much better in a bit. Far more magical. Ah, the gate? Precisely. How about we take her to the human world? She should see what it's like in the present day. Goodness, do you mean right now? Why not?
Oh, are you going to the human world? I shall come along.
I was not informed that this would be part of the tour. Does he not like going to the human world? He was rubbing his temple now, much like a school teacher who had lost control of his students. But it'll be fun anyway, right? I can't wait to see how much the human world has changed. Why did the what is going on? I know this is the demo, but shouldn't the demo be polished? Why did the music just stop? And also, why did it ramp up like something amazing was happening when we were just talking about going to the human world? Perhaps I could stand to wait longer. I was still not used to the sensation of riding, what was it called? An elevator. My stomach churned as we seemed to descend for ages. What if I can't handle it? Are you excited to go to the human world? Perhaps he could sense I was rattled and spoke in soothing tones. Stay here. Do you not have any work to attend to? No angelic business of any sort? You must not have a lot of work to come along with us. Aries had seen us all going to the elevator in the hallway and tagged along without being asked.
I wonder. Perhaps this is part of my business.
And you're joining us too.
Because, like it or not, you're my business too.
Aries rolled his eyes but said nothing else after that. There's only one thing on this floor, this gate here. It was a short walk from the elevator, while the rest of the building was styled differently. Age showed in this hallway. How come this place is rather dilapidated? Strange, is it not? We live in the city of stasis, our weather changes, and we have day and night cycles. Yet this is all artificial. I suppose it is to give a semblance of routine change. This is also kind of odd. I know they're like a team, but why would they be picking up each other's sentences and finishing it? That doesn't feel natural. One person should be explaining, because otherwise it's like, are you like cutting in and interrupting this person's explanation? It just doesn't feel totally. I understand that the writer probably wants to give like a semi fair, like I don't know the word. Give like a semi-fair, like hand out the right amount of words that each character gets. I hate it when I just lose a word. It's so annoying. But sometimes that can't happen. And if you're making one person explain something, you should let them explain that one thing. I don't want to be negative. I really don't, because there's like aesthetic wise there's like a lot to love, but it's not a perfect demo right now. That's all I'll say. So consider this hallway to be the sole representation of change. Look, I can go. Chaim says this line, we have day and night cycles. Then Seer's like, yet it is all artificial. Semblance of routine change. And then Valfar says, so consider this hallway to be, it's odd. It's very odd, unless they're all like linked telepathically. It's strange. And you can be like, well, they're a team, they're probably used to doing this, but the thing is they don't act like a team in that sense where they would be finishing each other's sentences. They're all kind of mismatched in a way, like you would expect, because they're not the same person, you know? While time does not pass here, centuries have passed beyond this door. The 6 of us gathered in front of the gate. Centuries have passed. Yes, however, we can access any point of time in the past. We do so regularly. Ooh, we're going to meet Felix that way, maybe. Why is that? There are more humans than Reapers, therefore there are many more dead souls than Reapers. Meaning you are understaffed? Precisely. Different Reapers are assigned to different points of time and geographic locations. We are mostly caught up, but there are stragglers. Occasionally there is some trouble that occurs that are outside the records of history that we must correct. You need to make one... I'm sorry. You need to make one character, or two characters even, but they're not going to be speaking over each other, be the explainer, the one who knows everything. In this instance, it would probably be Kime, because he has that look, and you in your head, you can be like, oh, he's complained about paper cuts, so he probably does a lot of paperwork, and he's probably one of those types, like a desk jockey kind of guys, you know? So he would know, you would expect him to, like, know a lot. Would it not be better to go in order to collect souls? You would think so, but the powers above say otherwise. We would be centuries behind in our own development, unfortunately. Humans have their follies, but what benefits them also benefits us. We can study patterns in technology, society, and all else, and apply it to our city of stasis, or learn where we must revise and interfere in history. And how to do so, that falls to fixers like Zafan and Seir. See, he's explaining all of this in one go, by himself, not handing it off to anyone else. That was a lot of information, and I had a lot of questions. Are their souls not waiting for a long time? Yes and no. The second we go to retrieve them, it is right after their death. Even if they have waited until now, our retrieval changes the time they've actually waited for eventually. I see. It seems lonely, waiting for centuries. But then I suppose they haven't waited in the end? Exactly. The problem is that sometimes before we get to them, they can become troublesome spirits. If wayward, they cause mayhem, or worse, turn evil. It's a broken system. And we have our naysayers, of course. Aries hung to the back, and Zafan and Seir each held my hand as Kime approached the gate. Best to show you this part in practice. Remember 2 things. Do not harm any of the humans, and do not interfere in their affairs. I nodded like a good student. Forgive me for taking over, Valafar. It is quite all right. It was not as though I had prepared for this part of the lesson in advance. Well, he smiled, his tone indicated that he was quite put out. Anyway, he held up a pocket watch with a blue cover. No Vio City by the Roseview Shopping Center, present day. This would be, if I had to do that, it would be a Diagon Alley thing in Harry Potter. Where Diagon Alley. The door opened and the entryway glowed white. Follow me. Yes, sir. I was speaking to Valkii. Rude. Without sparing a second glance, Kime stepped forward. Would you like to go next? I looked at the doorway that swallowed Kime. Although it wasn't entirely different from the doors I passed through in my dream, there was a nervous pit inside of my stomach. It's nothing to be afraid of. Here, I'll show you. Surprisingly, Aries spoke up, and in a moment he was gone as well. Okay, so it's either he's... I could be totally reading this wrong, but it's either something happened in the past and he doesn't like her because of it, or he grew to like her for some reason in the past and is now soft on her. I don't know. But he's pretending not to be for whatever reason. Aw, see? He does care. He would have your hide if he heard that. Shall I take my leave next? Let's all go together. The men nodded at me, and with my hands still clasped in between theirs, we walked forward. A cold breeze tickled my face and my clothes rustled. I feared the sensation would be unpleasant, but it was no different than stepping outside. Here we are. My escorts let go of my hand and gestured towards the sky. What do you think? This place was not unlike stasis. 1 second. Strange buildings were all around, although they seemed more plain than the ones I've seen back home. Not that I have been in the non-human world for long. In fact, it was strange to think of myself as different from the humans. It is unfamiliar. Then I do believe it is time to familiarize yourself. Shopping? How about we get some bubble tea? I can sense your true motives in coming along. They continued to rattle off suggestions as we went around. The people around us were nothing like the ones I've lived amongst. Their clothes were of far less substance, but also far more colourful. Everything was so cool, it was a little overwhelming. There were so many shops with things I've never seen before, and scents from all directions. As the others continued ahead, I found myself hanging back to take in the scenery. Hey miss, you like adventure? Huh? Have I the offer for you? It won't take too long and you'll get a free trip out of it. He held out a leaflet of paper with some pictures on it. Oh, it did look pretty. Well, I suppose that's nice. Isn't it? Come this way. So you see, Valkii, I think you would quite like these bubble waffles. Valkii?
Hey, where did she go?
What do you mean, where did she go?